year, the video game community gathers at the Electronic Entertainment Expo to show off all the latest in video game technology and software. It's E3, and it's a whirlwind of action and excitement, with amazing booths and demos from hundreds of companies, including Sony Computer Entertainment America.
E3 is a show that was started back in 1995. It was actually a spin-off of CES show, the Consumer Electronics Show, and in fact, PlayStation actually was the group that got the show really started.
The exhibitors' booths at E3 are always incredible displays, but what's even more astonishing is how quickly some of them are created.
I was approached probably 2 years ago by Exhibitors Magazine to do an article, and they wanted to follow me around for a year because they were certain that it took a year to build this kind of a booth. And in actuality, we do it in 4 months, which is incredible.
So how do you design, build, and assemble a 5,000 square foot mini-city, complete with elevators, coliseums, theaters, and restaurants, in only 4 months?
We try to start out with a one-liner from marketing about what our message is for E3. Like, for instance, this year, it's live in your world, plan ours.
We're trying to develop a little bit different look and feel for the booth this year, which would be less character-driven and more technology-driven to demonstrate the games.
We feel that the graphics and the gameplay draw people into the game, and we really want to carry that immersive theme into the booth this year, rather than just having someone standing in front of a kiosk and experiencing the game on their own. We will be using different projection units that will allow a group of people to see one person playing on a game, multiplayer games being viewed from different angles, from different levels in the booth.
So the idea is that for the Planet PlayStation area, when you're up, you have one player here and one player there, and you know this.
From then, we go to an outside design firm we have used for the last 4 or 5 years, Mitchell Mock, and he'll come back to us with as many as 10 initial concepts.
The place that we start for inspiration is, what is the information that we need to communicate? But beyond that, the actual sources of inspiration are things like fashion design or how molecules go together. We're always searching for new materials and how to use those in three-dimensional environments.
And then they'll come across with maybe 15, 20 different small models to give us an idea of what it could look like for this year. Once we hone it down to something more reasonable in terms of number, they'll go back and rework those models and maybe take parts and join things together and make something that we're all agreeing upon as a direction for the year.
Once the design starts taking shape, it's up to Pinnacle Exhibits to build it.
We then go on and produce all of the control drawings and the specifics as to how each piece will be built, and then we'll send these pieces out to the various shops around the country to be produced. As the process moves on in working with these folks, we are getting video feedback as to the day-to-day process in the shops. We're flying out at different occasions to view pieces around the country that are being done. There are literally hundreds of people involved. Up front, when we're in the engineering phases, we have our team here of detailers and engineers and project managers. But then as it moves into other phases of work, then we get the construction workers going here, the engineers that have to certify the drawings. We have the building electricians, we have the building officials, down to the AV crews, the shipping crews, the lighting crews.
This same team has been working on Sony's E3 booth for 7 years. We wondered if they had any favorite concepts in that time.
There are so many pieces that we've done in the past for these projects that we consider to be just cool. I mean, very cool. And usually there's one specific piece in each exhibit that people really remember and we get comments on throughout the year. This past year, I think the number one choice would be the globe or the sphere that we did in the front of the booth. Video projection, 360 degrees. It was very cool.
That was something that we just flat out invented. It started out as little tiny models, and it was a marble. Somebody said, well, what is it? Then our media guy said, well, could it actually be projections inside? And from a very simple concept of a marble, it turned into one of the most difficult things that we've ever had to accomplish.
When we had tried it in advance, we had never done it with full 360 degrees of projection, and we had also never tried it with full lighting and lasers on the inside.
We had 5 huge projectors inside, and 25 very hot lights. And the challenge was, how do you cool it? And we tried everything. It just wasn't enough. We finally ended up using 150,000 cubic feet of liquid nitrogen per day to keep the interior of this thing down to a level that would work. Keep it from popping, actually.
And that's not the only last-minute challenge they faced. When working on such a tight schedule, there's bound to be some 11th-hour scrambling.
The cars hanging off the wall in the GT2 section was one of the biggest challenges because those were real cars that we lifted up.
Then there was a problem with the game where we could not use this specific car anymore, so we had to develop a new car for the last slot. This is 4 days before the show. We bought a car in Los Angeles on a credit card and had it sent over. The entire car was stripped and it was turned into a motocross car. And we completely changed this car head to toe and put it on the wall in the last few days.
All in all, the booth takes 4 months to build, 104 truckloads to deliver, and 9 days to set up. But what happens to everything after the end of the show?
After the show is over, basically we have about 52 hours to take it down, disassemble it, put it back in the vans, and bring it back to the warehouse again.
The actual pieces, if they're specific to a game, we have given them to some of the developers to put in their offices or to be used at promotional events. We recently took the Jack and Daxter display from E3 to the opening of Toys R Us on Times Square. So we tried to do that.
And the rest is carefully cataloged, put into crates, and stored in the vast warehouse at Pinnacle Exhibits, possibly never to be seen again.